The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has been characterized by its complexity and the myriad of actors involved. Among these actors, Russia's wealthiest individuals, commonly known as oligarchs, have played a prominent role in supplying the country's military-industrial complex and its armed forces. This involvement by oligarchs in the weapon production industry has been highlighted by a recent investigation by Proect, bringing to light the intricate web of connections between these powerful figures and the defense sector. In this article, we will delve into the multifaceted involvement of these oligarchs, the sanctions imposed on them, and the substantial contributions they have made to the conflict. The investigation by Proect reveals that of the 81 businessmen involved in weapons manufacturing, a staggering 80 have been subjected to sanctions by various international entities. These sanctions serve as a recognition of their role in facilitating the Ukrainian conflict, and they are intended to curtail their influence and financial capabilities. However, the effectiveness of these sanctions varies. Only 14 of these oligarchs have faced restrictions from all of Ukraine's allies, indicating a lack of consensus on the issue. On the other hand, 34 oligarchs were sanctioned exclusively by Ukraine, showcasing the country's determination to target those who have directly contributed to the conflict. The financial stakes involved in the oligarchs' contribution to the war are substantial. The contracts between these oligarchs' companies and Russia's military-industrial complex have been estimated at a minimum of 220 billion rubles, approximately $2.4 billion, from 2014 to the present. This significant financial flow underscores the extent to which these individuals are intertwined with Russia's military endeavors and underscores the economic incentive for their continued involvement. The oligarchs' involvement in the war spans various aspects of weapon production, making their contribution all the more impactful and multifaceted. Here are a few examples that shed light on their roles. Oligarchs have invested heavily in arms manufacturing companies that produce a wide range of weapons, from small arms to advanced military technology. These ventures have provided the Russian military with the means to sustain a prolonged conflict in Ukraine. Oligarchs have exerted influence over the supply chain, ensuring that the military-industrial complex receives the necessary components and raw materials for weapon production. This control over the supply chain has helped Russia maintain a steady stream of armaments to support its operations. Some oligarchs have directed their resources toward research and development in the defense sector. This has allowed Russia to continually innovate and upgrade its military technology, maintaining a competitive edge in the conflict. Oligarchs' connections and influence are not limited to the domestic sphere. They have been used as intermediaries and diplomatic tools, influencing the policies of other nations and leveraging their networks to gain international support for Russia's actions in Ukraine. Oligarchs have provided substantial financial support to the Russian military and paramilitary groups operating in Ukraine. This has enabled these groups to sustain their operations and maintain a presence in the conflict. Viktor Vekselberg owns Rusal-Ural, which supplies aluminum powder for the Archon missiles used on BMD-4M airborne infantry fighting vehicles. Igor Kasayev provides metal casts for the manufacturers of sights used on BMD-4M vehicles. Oleg Deripaska's Barnaul Transmash produces UTD-29 motors used in BMD-4MS, and he's also involved with Rusal-Ural. Vladimir Evtushenkov's enterprise develops armor and supplies casts for BMD-4M hulls. Mikhail Shelkov owns VSMPO Avisma, which supplies rolled titanium, possibly for tank chassis parts. Igor Rotenberg is associated with the Tulamashzavad factory, which produces two A27 30mm automatic cannons. Dmitry Mazepin's Uralchem supplies ammonia, ammonium nitrate, and nitric acid for Archon missiles. Yevgeny Zubitsky's company, Polima, supplies tungsten parts and molybdenum rods used in tank construction. These connections highlight how oligarchs are directly or indirectly contributing to the production of military equipment used in the conflict. In addition to weapon production, the investigation uncovers financial connections. Mikhail Friedman and Pyotr Avin own Alfa-Strakovany, a company providing health insurance services for TSNIATIC MASH and property insurance for the enterprise that manufactures Kalashnikovs. Friedman and Avin also have ownership stakes in Alpha Bank, which provided credit to Tula Cartridge Works, involved in the production of cartridges for Kalashnikov and Pecheneg guns. These financial ties demonstrate how oligarchs support various aspects of the military-industrial complex, not just through direct production but also through financial services. On July 14, 2022, the Russian army shelled Vinnytsia, resulting in the tragic death of 27 people. The investigation reveals that at least 7 enterprises owned by Forbes list billionaires were involved in the production of caliber missiles used in this attack. These missiles play a significant role in Russia's military capabilities. Viktor Vekselberg's Kamensk-Uralsky Metallurgical Works supplies aluminum casts for caliber missile production. Viktor Rashnikov's Magnitogorsk Iron and Steel Works provides rolled metal to missile manufacturers. These oligarchs' connections to caliber missile production emphasize their contribution to the military operations in Ukraine. The investigation also discusses the bombing of the Mariupol Drama Theater on March 16, 2022, where civilians sought refuge. The Sverdlov plant in Dzerzhinsk equipped FAB-500 bombs with explosives in 2017, and components for manufacturing those explosives were supplied by subsidiaries of Dmitry Mazepin's Uralchem and Sibir, jointly owned by Gennady Timchenko, Kirill Shemelov, and Leonid Michelson. These explosives play a role in air raids and bombings, further connecting oligarchs to the war's destructive capabilities. Projekt reached out to all the companies and individuals named in its investigation. Some denied direct involvement in the defense sector, while others emphasized divestiture of military-industrial assets before the war. These responses reflect their attempts to distance themselves from the controversial connections revealed in the investigation. The involvement of Russia's wealthiest individuals in the Ukrainian conflict's weapon production complex is a critical aspect of the ongoing crisis. The sanctions imposed on these oligarchs reflect the international community's recognition of their role in the conflict, although the lack of consensus among Ukraine's allies has limited the effectiveness of these measures. With contracts valued at billions of rubles, their financial contributions to the war are undeniable. The multifaceted nature of their involvement, from arms manufacturing to supply chain control, research and development, geopolitical leverage, and financial support, underscores the depth of their engagement in the conflict. As the conflict persists, understanding and addressing the role of oligarchs in the weapon production complex remains a crucial element in achieving a peaceful resolution to the crisis in Ukraine. The continuous strife in Ukraine has witnessed the deployment of a diverse range of lethal weaponry by the Russian armed forces. These arms have not solely been directed at military facilities, but have also inflicted harm upon non-combatants and civilian infrastructure. The repercussions of these actions are catastrophic, necessitating international scrutiny and responsibility. We appreciate your presence today as we bring attention to this crucial matter. If you found this information enlightening, please show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel for further updates. Keep an eye out for additional content on the ongoing conflict, and as always, remain informed and prioritize your safety.